Hey, the healer here. This is Kim. And today we're going to start tapping about what safety means. Now, safety has a whole lot of different definitions, shall we say. And if your brain has actually never felt safe because you were born into trauma, this would be very good for you. Now, I recommend you keep tapping because I got to let this brain flow right now. I don't want to be focused on my tapping instead of what I need to be saying. So if you don't know how to tap, make sure you go to the link in my bio and sign up for my email and get the tapping protocol. And then download it, start tapping while you listen to this rant, if you will, because that's what this playlist is called, a rant about safety. Now look at that big old helmet on his head. Yes, NFL is talking a lot about safety. How can we protect these guys so that they don't get hurt, so that they can play? How can we protect their brains? A lot of questions, right? But safety is much more than just football. Some people think if you wrap yourself in a big old bubble and run 90 miles an hour at each other, you're going to be safe. And while this is true in some aspects, when you think about the brain is still going forward, and the brain isn't wrapped up like a woodpecker's brain is. It's not fully protected, so the brain might still be going forward, and your head and neck might still be going forward. I'm not saying I would not have tried this back in the day when I was younger. It would have been hella fun. But is it safe? Is everybody going to do it? Now, is it safe to be completely wrapped up in a bubble all the time and never experience anything? For some of us, that might be the way that we feel like we need to be. But why? Why do we feel like we need to be that way? And it might be because of the wiring inside of the brain, because of what you experienced as a child, because of what you experienced in utero generationally. And maybe it was because of the car accident that made a shift that now makes you want to be in a bubble every time you drive. And for some people, this is completely safe. But there might be 100 people behind this guy yelling at him, "Get away from the cliff!" This guy's perfectly comfortable standing on the edge of the cliff. Been there, done that. Me and my buddy, we rode up to the top of a mountain one time on our motorcycles back in the day when we were kids. And the wind was blowing, and we were leaning over the side of the cliff. I'm not saying it was smart, but it was an amazing experience because the wind was gusting up the side of the cliff so far. It was holding us up. It was so cool. And for some people, a hug is absolutely safe. For others, we're not having it. It could be because of experiences in our past, and it can also be because the energy is just too much because the person who's receiving the hug is overwhelmed. And any more information can blow us up. But what if we could override the blow up and be there just a little longer and experience safety? That would be amazing, right? Now, safety has a lot of different definitions. Emotional safety, relation to acceptance and freedom, trust and reliability, open communication. Is it safe to communicate my feelings? Now, remember, it's very important to make sure that you're balanced within yourself when you're communicating your feelings, because when we're communicating our feelings out of fear and anger, not any good, is it? Psychological safety, freedom from judgment. Now, but we've always got to realize we will always be judged. Oh, you're so wonderful. Oh, God, my gosh, you're horrible, right? There's always judgment. Now, can we allow the good judgments? Can we learn from them all? It's very important. We can learn from them all. I mean, back when I started doing these lives, I was judged a lot. You can't be doing this. There's no way you can heal people. What are you doing here, right? And I would just get angry. And you can see it on my face when I get angry. I can't hide my feelings. My feelings show. So I'm so grateful that I've done the healing And healing isn't just emotional, it's also physical. And when your physical body is out of alignment, say for instance, the atlas and the axis, the first two vertebrae in the body, when those vertebrae are out of alignment, it creates complete chaos in the body. It puts pressure on nerves. It puts pressure on the spinal cord. It puts pressure on the arteries and veins that travel up into the brain and out of the brain. My chiropractor back in the day, Dr. Party, wonderful man, he taught me about the atlas and axis. And the first time he put mine, apologize, it always goes out that way when it went out. Grateful I can adjust it now if I do put it out. First time he adjusted mine, I could actually see. Not that I was blind, but I didn't realize that my world was blurry. Now it can also affect the ears, the sinuses, the eyes, basically bringing the entire body out of alignment. So if you are told that one leg is longer than the other, hey, have them check the atlas. It's a great place to start. Now, in my definition here that I'm reading, a space for vulnerability and growth. But I don't like the word vulnerable because why? What's the definition of vulnerable? Being open to attack. I don't want to be open to attack, but I do want to be open for growth. So a place for growth, but you've got to create that place for yourself. If you don't feel safe in the grocery store, what are you going to do about that? Because you need groceries. Are you going to go become a farmer and create all of your own food? Or are you going to figure out how to feel safe in the grocery store? Why don't you feel safe in the grocery store? Have you had a negative experience there? Or is there just too much information? Well, if there's too much information, what am I going to do about that? What's the root cause of my belief that there is too much information, too many people, too much whatever in the grocery store? What's the root cause? And can I heal that root cause so that I can comfortably, safely, and effortlessly go to the grocery store and maybe even we can have fun? Because believe it or not, there is fun things in the grocery store. You know, those big old box of balls that they got all the time? Don't you wish you could just jump into those balls? And control and predictability. And that one's been a big one for me. I think my entire life, I need to know what's happening next. But as I've healed my brain, as I've healed my emotions, as I've healed myself and learned about myself, I'm more open to the predictability of life. And I don't get flipped out when I fumble my words anymore, which is friggin' awesome. I don't need the control. Now, do I enjoy knowing what's coming up? Yeah, it definitely helps me. But now I don't have the flip outs that I did before. That weren't any fun, that weren't beneficial for anyone. So if you don't feel safe, tap every day. Tap every day if you feel amazing. If you're perfectly healed, tap every day and tell yourself how great you're doing in your life. And that's wonderful. It's okay to do that. But if you're not perfectly healed, which, well, I can't say none of us are because I don't know all of you. But if you're not perfectly healed, tap every day. And if you need help finally feeling safe, healing your brain from trauma of the past, and trauma is different for everybody. Trauma can be inflicted by others or experiences, and trauma can be inflicted from ourselves. Jumping off of cliffs when we shouldn't be in the air. It's very important. So look me up, kimmcintyre.com. Check the link, download the 5 steps to decrease inflammation in your brain and body. Start there. That's going to be a great place because if your brain is inflamed, I will guarantee that you do not feel safe. See you next time.